Are you a health educator, an author, a coach, a speaker, or other type of health educator that feels like your business is overwhelming and you're loaded with responsibilities and it's hard for you to you're doing a lot of manual follow-up, you're doing a lot of manual sales, you're doing a lot of manual working with individuals, but you feel like you got into business because you wanted freedom. But when you got into business, you realized that instead of working at 9 to 5, you ended up working like 16-hour shifts, and you're wondering like what is going on. If you want to know how to have more freedom, today we're going to be talking about the automation effect, which I believe is the key to consistent clients and cash flow from coaching. And when I say coaching, it also includes courses and speaking and publishing your health knowledge online. If you want to know how to monetize your health knowledge in a way that doesn't leave you totally exhausted and pulling you away from doing the work that you're really passionate about, the work that you love, then this video is for you. Because one thing that when we're talking about automating your business, going from things that are dependent upon you. I remember there was a time in my business where when I would travel to go speak somewhere, it's like my business would shut down or it would stop, or even if I had a team, they weren't as clear on how to keep things going. But I was able to set up my business in a way where it starts to run itself, and even in my absence, now I can go speak at a place and my business can actually grow in my absence and be able to reach new milestones, new heights, new people in my absence than when I was there present. And when you get to that place, it's a very beautiful thing to be able to experience as a health educator. But I want to show you some of the ways we're able to do that. So in 2 Kings 4, there talks about a widow, this woman who's in need of this financial breakthrough. And she goes to the man of God. And as he asked her, he says, like, woman, what's in your house? And she's like, thy handmaid have not anything in the house save this pot of oil. So he's like, all right, go borrow the empty vessels, borrow not a few, and go bring these vessels. And then she went and got the vessels, and then she's like, okay, now what? So in verse 5, the scripture says, so she went from him and shut the door upon her and upon her sons, who brought the vessels to her, and she poured out. So I believe that she had this shut door kind of experience, or the shut door process where she's pouring things out. So I believe that every one of us can benefit by having a proprietary process, a systemizing the solutions that you bring to the marketplace, because it's really one of the best definitions that I've heard about business is that business is a system of delivering value to the marketplace. And when you look at every dollar that you own is going to be a receipt. It's a receipt of value that you've added. So the amount of money you make in your business is dependent upon the value that you make. And so what that looks like is how do you add value to the marketplace? It's by solving valuable problems. And not every problem pays the same when it's solved. That's why I say solve valuable problems. And one of the things that we want to learn is that business is a system. System meaning that it's like a step-by-step process for getting consistent, repeatable results. That's what a system is. So you want to learn to systemize your lead generation, systemize your communication, systemize your sales process where you can actually convert those leads into clients. Learn to systemize, have systems in place for when you're speaking, systems for onboarding new clients, systems for being able to capture the attention of your ideal clients. And really it's these systems that open the door. I believe that system is an acronym. And I love this acronym because SYSTEM stands for saving yourself time, energy, money, and stress, right? How many of you want to save yourself time, energy, money, and stress? That can only really be achieved at the highest level through implementing proven systems in your business. And while a lot of times what people are doing is they don't have a system. Health educators come to me all the time and I'm like, so tell me, what's your system for getting new clients? Like, what does that look like? And they're like, I don't have a system. I've just been trying so many different things and they're not really working. Or sometimes they say like, well, I just pray and hope that they come. But like, hope marketing is not a real marketing strategy. I believe in prayer. I believe prayer is really important. But is it wise to lean on a shovel and pray to God for a hole? No. There's a part that we have to play. And until we understand systems for consistently getting new clients, for getting paid automatically, it's going to be very difficult to grow our business and have the freedom to spend time with our family, our loved ones, to contribute to causes we care about. If we're so stuck working in the business and not really on the business. So sometimes people have a concern that they can't really systemize my work because the business is so unique, so different. I had now paying clients. She came to one of my events, and she's helping people with vocal wellness, and she is teaching health through the sounds of her voice and how it affects to her the people's emotional health and overall well-being. And so she does a lot of voice work with people. And I was sharing with her how one of the ways you can systemize or scale your business is you want to learn to disconnect your time, like how you add value, from your income generation. Because any time that you are your time is required to generate income, you have now limited your income generation to the most scarcest resource that you have, which is your time. So recognize that if value is when you solve problems in the marketplace, we have to realize that you're not paid for your time, you're paid for the value that you add, no matter what you do. So learn to focus yourself as you're getting paid for the results that you're able to deliver to your clients, not because of how many hours of your time that they're working with you. And one of the things that I shared with Melanie is that she can have an event that she's able to do vocal wellness and with a group of people. And she's like, I can't help people with their voice because some of the stuff I do is like healing from the trauma in their voice, and like that's not something you can do as a group. That's unique for each person. I was like, of course you can. I paid Roger Love over $1,000 to have him train my team, and we attended his events, and I've seen him speak in person. He's one of the world's renowned voice coach, and what he did is he would be in a group, and he took interventions, is what he called it, where people would come up, and then he would ask them, what do you not like about your voice? What would you like to change? And he showed them exactly how to change their voice, or if they were stuttering, how to produce more airflow so they stopped stuttering, or how the words that you would stutter to come out, that when you sing the words instead, he didn't stutter. And he showed that it's an airflow problem most of the time. And he turned people around like before other people's eyes. And that intervention, what he did with one, the whole audience, all of us felt like he did it with us. And we got the clarity. And it was amazing for my entire teams. Their voice communication have drastically improved since attending his events. We went back to his events a second time. It was so good. And then she's like, oh, that is so true. I've been to Roger Love's events, and I love the work that he does, and it's true, I can. And she's like, thank you so much, because I would challenge you that even now, as I'm giving this example of someone who thought the work that she was doing was very, very unique, some of you are going to realize, oh, there's actually something I can do for one that could influence many. And others are still thinking, that can work for the voice, but that can't work for my business. But I would challenge you that your ability to help people one to many is there's a lot more opportunities than you would otherwise think. But a lot of times when we get into business, we think that we think that we own a business, but really the business owns us. And when we're making $100,000, we have 100,000 responsibilities. And when we're making $1 million, then we have 1,000,000 responsibilities. And a lot of times people think that they own a business, but really the business owns them. And so that happens when we don't have the systems in place to create the freedom that we're looking for. So we end up creating for ourselves some golden handcuffs where we're limited by how we're able to serve people and the income we're able to generate as well. So not all business models are created equally. Some of them are very difficult to scale. Some of them are very difficult to reach the people that you're looking to reach. So here's an example of Dr. Kendra Lee. She came to me. She attended one of my events, and she's an online business. She's a online business owner. She's an international speaker. She is a health consultant, and one thing that when she came to me, she was struggling to get clients, and it was at a point where she wasn't even quite sure how she'd be able to keep the doors open. She's like, if I don't figure out how to get paying clients, I bought this lifestyle center, and I'm doing some events, but it's not really like monetizing this knowledge, doing cooking classes, doing trainings, but it's been hard to actually to maintain the expenses. We're like spending more money than the ministry of business is generating. She's like, if I don't figure this out, we're not going to be able to keep these doors open. And she's like, I wouldn't want that. And so what we did is we helped her to create a system for generating leads and sales, for being able to automate how people find out about her business, how to have a system for converting those clients into paying clients. And we have an infinitely scalable messaging that can reach her ideal clients. And then we helped her to package together on how she's able to deliver those results for her clients, and how to capture a system for capturing those testimonials and the reviews and the results that she's able to get her clients. And it's so fun. It was like almost each week when she's coming on, she's got new testimonies of people signing up for $400 programs, and she's like, this is amazing. And then also we helped her to go from where she was charging one-on-one for $1,500. She was having a hard time to get one-on-one clients. We helped her. What I shared with her is like, double your prices, and don't go to $1,500, go to $3,000, and then do at least $3,000, but then switch from a one-on-one model to a group coaching model. And in that group coaching model, they'll be able to get answers to questions that they had that they didn't even know they had, but they're going to learn from each other. And it's going to work so much better in that regard. So she was hesitant, but her husband's like, look, are you doing what Enoch said? It's like, we paid him to teach us what to do. It's like you want to follow what he said. She's like, all right. And so she goes in this direction, and she sold her first 5 high-paying clients that were all at a higher price than what she was originally having a hard time selling one-on-one. So by being able to create like group education, whether that's at an event, a cooking class, a seminar, or speaking, or video content, there are ways that you're able to solve problems for people at scale. You're able to add value to them at scale. So she's been able to generate more funds to her business, and now she has a lot more clients coming in, and her husband is even talking about being able to work with her. He wants to join her in their business, and essentially she's if things are going in that direction, she's able to retire her husband to be this dynamic duo in the same business. Is that amazing? How many of you would like to be able to work with your family in business? And not only did she go from thinking, well, how am I going to keep my doors open? Now she's able to be thinking about providing Christian education for her grandchild. She wants to give the education, the best education to her granddaughter that wasn't so much even financially on the radar before joining our program, and following some of the advice that we teach. So how many of you would like to have a system for getting more paying clients for your health business? Type yes in the chat below if that's you. And it's just like, it's amazing what happens when you automate your business. And I like how 1 Corinthians 14:40 says, let all things be done decently and in order. Let all things be done decently and in order. Because this shows that there's an order to things. It's like if you think about a recipe. I believe that business is a recipe. Business is a system. And like, let's say you've got a cake recipe and you do all the right steps. You put but you do it in the wrong order. Are you going to get the same cake? You can get the dry ingredients, go bake them in the oven, pull it out, and then mix the wet ingredients. Do you have a cake? No, because you're doing the right things in the wrong order. See, sequence matters. Even if you have a telephone number, you can have the same numbers, but you change the sequence and you're trying to call New York, you might end up calling someplace in Africa. Big difference, because a system is a step-by-step process for getting repeatable results. Now, a lot of people a lot of health educators, they come to me, they're like, I'm doing all the steps, I'm doing all the things, and then I see like, okay, tell me your process, what are you doing? And I realize, many times they're piecing it from all this free information on YouTube University, and they're getting their PhD in Google search and these podcasts, and they're trying to piecemeal all of these different steps together. You got the right steps, but it's in the wrong order. So you're not getting the results in your business. You're not being able to reach the people you know you're called to serve. So the sequence really matters. That's why it's important to have the systems in place. And really, freedom. Freedom is built through systems. It's by having these systems for your business, for generating leads, for converting clients, systems for delivering the results that you promise, systems for being able to communicate one to many to others. Now, that doesn't mean you can't work with people individually. In fact, I was coaching clients of mine yesterday, one-on-one, and we were talking about systems in her business. She came to me, and at first she's like, I know I need systems. She was talking to me and she's like, this is having, like, I asked her, tell me about your process. What are you doing? And she's going to events. She's connecting with people on LinkedIn. And then she sends out a message to them right then and there manually. And then she goes and she manually sends out an email to each person that's inviting them to get on a phone call, to book a call, where she's getting on these calls to give them opportunity to work with her. And she doesn't really have any group process. She just only has this one-on-one ability. And then she's going out actively to go reach out to other corporations who want to hire her for the workshops that she does. And she's like, it's not that I desire systems. I need systems. These are essential for me. So on the call, we helped her to figure out how she's going to systemize her lead generation, how she's going to systemize her sales, where she's able to acquire clients, how to systemize her closing of those clients, where she's able to generate more clients and through automation, through one-to-many, in an infinitely scalable business. And she left with such encouragement, ready to go, and with massive clarity to take the next steps in her business. And she's already got someone who's ready, desiring to pay her $15,000 for her new group coaching program. And so it's really like the freedom that we experience is by learning how to build through systems. And that's one of the things that a lot of health educators come to me when they're overwhelmed, they're stressed, or there's so much complexity in their business and they really want to simplify. In fact, my word of the year for 2025 is simplify. It's all about simplifying our communication, simplifying our client generation, simplifying their client results, and how we acquire those testimonies. It's all about simplifying. And that's why people come to me, because one of the gifts that I have is being able to take really complex results and simplify them into a step-by-step process. And that's something that you want to get good at. How many of you could see how creating systems for your business could simplify your work? Type yes in the chat if you could see systems as something that would really make a difference in your business. And the cool thing about systems is you don't even necessarily have to create a system from scratch. One of the things that my clients love the most is that we actually give proven systems for each of these things that helps people to implement and put into practice, so that we're able to lend our systems, our frameworks. You just plug them into your business and you follow the system for generating leads and clients and sales. And they're so excited because they work. And that's one thing that you want to learn how to do for your business, number one, you want to learn to create result-based frameworks. What's a framework? It's a step-by-step system for producing repeatable results. So you want to, if you get paid for results, then you want to learn how to systemize that result. You want to, like, people don't buy programs, they don't buy products, they don't buy personalized coaching, they buy solutions to problems. So if they're buying your solution, then learn how to systemize your delivery of that solution, your communication of that solution. When you systemize, then and you have this result-based framework, this is where big things happen. In fact, I've got a YouTube video, and it's about the automation effect and how I automated my health coaching and I doubled my income. And it's by creating this results-based framework. And when you learn to systemize the frameworks that you take people through, you communicate through frameworks. Even what I'm teaching now, this is a framework. Look, I'll show you. I've got a framework for creating frameworks to simplify the process of being able to create these. So I call this the roadmap to results. The roadmap to results is basically where you identify where your client is sad, and then how can you get them from sad to glad? Where are they starting and where do they want to be? What is the result that's going to make them happy? Satisfied customers, referring more of their friends, family, colleagues over to you so that you could pay, so that their friends can pay you to get the same results that you've got. And because you've got a system, the more clients you serve, it doesn't overwhelm you. It's just part of the system. It's part of a process, and it's a beautiful thing where you can focus on really being present and involved, where without having to constantly think about how you're going to help this person and that person. So let's give an example for fibromyalgia. I was consulting with someone who wants to monetize their health knowledge on overcoming fibromyalgia. And what you basically do is you take someone who fibromyalgia is where you feel pain and like all throughout your body. There's a lot of it's like every cell is just inflamed and it hurts, and there's like little energy, constantly fatigued. And so how can you help someone to go from this sad situation to one glad, energetic, pain-free living? So I was consulting with her, and we were talking about mapping out a framework. And so one of the steps is that she's able to talk about inflammation. If you could address the inflammation, look at the cause of inflammation and how there's a lot of pain in the body and what it's doing and why it's doing that and how to eliminate that, this could help people to go in the right direction. And in week 2, she could talk about, she found how gratitude really helps with boosting the emotions and the energy and being able to focus, shifting the focus in life and finding good in situations, and how gratitude, it has the healing properties. And science has shown again and again that even the scripture says that a merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones. So the third week we were talking about is exercise, how movement creates energy. If you got fatigue and exhaustion, then by moving you're able to have more energy than before. So having some simple exercises that people can do that are like beginner, intermediate, advanced, helping them to be able to go from where they're so tired and exhausted to being able to what she's been able to do, from having fibromyalgia, taking her out of the workforce to be able to climb mountains, keeping up with 20-year-olds, and being able to overcome her fibromyalgia issue. It's like, it's been amazing. And exercise is one of those things. And then the fourth week, talking about how sugar really feeds that inflammation, how sugar really feeds a lot of the sickness, and how by getting rid of the white refined sugar, like the body can heal and you can support your body in doing so. So now what you have is you have these major milestones that where they're at when they're coming to you and where they want to be as a result of your coaching, your advice. This is how you can start charging a price for your health advice. This is how you stop going from always giving advice for free to where you have the choice to be able to charge a fee, and your clients will be glad to pay you because you have a results-based framework, and people pay for these frameworks. You could take this same framework And now you could package it into a book. You could take this framework, you could put it into a coaching program. You could take this framework, put it into a piece of content. You could take this framework and like even this roadmap to results. In the automation effects on YouTube, if you want me to guide you step by step for creating your own framework, then go to YouTube and find this video on how I automated my health coaching and doubled my income on Enoch Leffingwell YouTube channel, and I will gladly show you exactly how to create. This is the ultimate framework, really, because this is a framework that will be responsible for all your other frameworks, and it starts to make sense of how you can create this flagship framework for your business that allows you to solve problems at scale. And so Warren Buffett puts it this way. He says that if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll be working until you die. And I found that to be very true. And really, it never gets old to me seeing those Stripe notifications where I get a wake up and I see that I've got payment of hundreds of dollars, sometimes thousands of dollars. And from conversations that I've been having in the marketplace without my actual involvement. Like, people are speaking to me, they're learning how to buy, they're learning what I do, they're desiring to buy, and then they'll pay without my involvement at all. And I'm like, this is amazing. Where it used to be that if I'm not actively involved, then I'm not able to generate any income. But learning how to disconnect your time from your income generation allows you to make money while you sleep. So how do you do that? One of the ways is that you can craft a signature speech. So when you craft a signature speech, is one of the ways that I learned this is from Ron Meinhardt. He was the medical director at Uchee Pines for about 8 years, and he had the opportunity to travel with the founder, Agatha Thrash, and she was an international speaker with years of experience as a doctor helping people. And I noticed there's something different about Ron. Ron Meinhardt, he does these health seminars, and he's reaching people in groups, and he's doing this full time. And he's got these nice slides, he's got really great handouts, he's got good engaging metaphors and elements and designs and just like exercises for the audience. He's very engaging, and it's a powerful package that he has together. And he does this full time to provide for his family. I'm like, this is awesome. And I was thinking, well, I saw like, well, what's different about like your message, where a lot of the speakers I knew at the time, they weren't as polished, they weren't as prepared, they didn't quite have their slides together, constantly just kind of piecing things together. And I mean, handouts would be very like simple or basic. It's not really like a workbook walking people through a seminar. I'm just like, there wasn't as polished or professional. I'm like, what's different about you? And this is what he said. He shared with me, after traveling with Dr. Agatha Thrash for 8 years to her many speaking engagements, one of the biggest lessons she taught me was to have a signature speech. He's saying you have like about 80 slides that you're able to just tell these stories and these concepts and these statistics, these health presentation, and that you don't have to completely change your talk. You can have one signature speech, and you might choose to skip over some slides depending on the audience, so you can adapt it to the people you're speaking to. But as a whole, Agatha Thrash had these same slides that when she would travel around going on her speaking tour, the last thing she was thinking about, what am I going to say next? She already knew what she was going to say. And that really hit me, because for the first 300 speaking engagements that I did, I was making a new presentation every time. I believed I couldn't teach the same thing twice. So a lot of times when I was teaching at these like first 300 talks, they were new. That was the first time I taught it. So I was constantly thinking about, okay, what's the next thing I'm going to say? Putting a lot of effort into putting these talks together. Little did I know that I could create one signature speech. And what's powerful about having a signature speech is you don't need to come up with a new speech every time, because you don't have to change your message. You change your audience, and your message feels different because it is to your audience. And you're no longer asking like, what am I going to say next? You are very clear. You're able to focus on how you're delivering, who you're speaking to, how you can add the most value to the audience that's present. So by having a signature speech, especially one that is optimized to educate people closer to sale, a signature speech that's is like an infinite sales message that you can deliver over 3,000 times without losing its power of persuasion. This is a beautiful thing where a lot of times educators, they come to me and they're like, oh, I just got invited to speak at this big event. I don't know what to say or how I'm going to present it. Or then they get invited to speak again and again, because when you start speaking, then more people want you to speak there. And then they're like, what am I going to say? And they're like, I don't have time to put together a talk. So some people end up turning down these opportunities because of fear or uncertainty, because they don't have a system for crafting that signature speech. And that's what we do. We have an entire workshop where we dive into how to craft a signature speech that sells your products, your program, your advice, your coaching, your facilities, and to bring clients back to you. Because I believe public speaking is one of the best ways to generate leads as a business, because you're able to, when you're speaking from a stage, when you're selling from a stage, you are automatically being an authority in that field. You're automatically speaking to these warm audiences. They're able to spend time with you to understand more about who you are and what you do. So you're leveraging other people's audiences. So now you have a way to generate leads one to many that's not individually sending out emails, individually messaging people. You're able to have one to many of lead generation, and a lot of events will let you to actually sell your program from the stage. So you can not only generate leads, but you can actually sell from the stage, and people will come to the back of the room and pay you money to join your programs, to buy your products, to invest in your courses, your coaching, your further events. And so speaking is an amazing way to build a business. And we've built over $500,000 in profit on the back of one signature speech. So these things work really well. How many of you would like to simplify your speaking with a signature speech? Type yes in the comment below. And so number 2 is that how to automate your business is craft a signature speech and create that infinite sales message, dial it in. And as you have the same speech, you're able to improve upon that infinite sales message too. And number 3 is you could publish a book that works while you sleep. Take that signature speech and put it into a book. And then this book will be able to work for you 24/7, that it works 24/7. It doesn't go to sleep, doesn't ask for a raise, it doesn't complain about its work. This is a silent messenger, a silent salesperson for your business that is able to work for you even when you're not actively involved. So here's an example of how Elrod, I wanted to publish a book, so I invested in one of the best. He sold over 2 million copies of his book, Miracle Morning. And one of the advice that he gave me, he was sharing how if you want to book more speaking engagements, you can actually, you can send them a book. When he first started as a speaker, he published a book, and there was a school that opened up for looking for speakers. So he sent them a copy of his book, but they weren't going to make the decision for a few months. So the book sat on the coffee table of the organizer and the decision maker. And while everyone else sent these sales brochures about their speaking brochures, she put them on the shelf, just like business cards. Everyone just puts those business cards in the trash or on the shelf, and they're like, I'll get to it someday. But a book, they're not going to throw away. A book, she ends up reading the book. She's like, oh yeah, I got to read the book. So she reads it like, this story is amazing. I love this. I want you to come speak at my events. And so she's like, my students need to hear this. So she calls up Hal Elrod, is like, we've chosen you to pay you to come speak at our event. So he ends up making $9,000 in 2 hours because he had a book that was able to work for him and sell his speaking for him when he wasn't involved. And that book gave him what I like to call as an author's advantage that's separated from all the others. And she said, if you didn't send me your book, I wouldn't be scheduling you we wouldn't be having this conversation. Everyone else sent me speaking brochures. I haven't looked at one of them. But because you sent me a book and I saw it, I read it, I'm like, we need you to come speak to our students. So this was really powerful, where a book helps you to get more speaking engagements. A book can actually help you to sell more online courses. A book can help you to sell more consulting services, more consultation calls. A book can help you to sell more coaching programs, or walking people through whatever it is that you're offering. And sometimes people are concerned, like me. Like, when I thought about publishing a book, I'm like, well, I'm not a writer, and can I still create a book that effectively automates my business? The reality is, if you're not a good writer, that's okay. I wasn't a good writer either. In school, English was one of my least favorite classes, and what we do is, like, we help health educators to package their health knowledge into a best-selling book, and how to write, launch, and publish their book to #1 bestseller and beyond within 60 days. And we've got a system for consistently organizing your thoughts, getting it from your mind to a manuscript in the shortest time possible, and then from your manuscript to their mailbox, so that you can get paid passive income that is effectively disconnected your income generation from your time. So if you're not a good writer, what we have is something called the author's DNA. We'll show you how to enjoy publishing a book by knowing what we call your author's DNA. And what is your author's DNA? This is where a lot of times I realize the problem with speakers or health educators is, when it comes to verbalizing your ideas, you can do it all day, any day. Like, that's fun, right? Teaching the health knowledge you have, that's enjoyable, whether it's over a call, face to face, maybe it's from a stage, like, you enjoy that. But writing seems daunting. And that's because that's not your author's DNA. There's two paths that you can choose. The first is, you could write your book. But if you're not much of a writer, then I would encourage you, don't write your book, speak your book. And when you speak your book, you're able to take a video of a recording that you've done and package that into a book, or you can follow the system we use for capturing your knowledge onto pages and get your rough draft done, and then work with an editor to be able to get that finished, and then now you've got yourself a book. This is how we've been able to publish our book. Instead of taking months and years, we're able to publish it in 4 days. So we have a 4-day book publishing method that allows you to capture your knowledge into a best-selling book. And when A.D. Keller, who is a health educator, he's a speaker, and he's also an online business owner, he read an email about how we have been able to publish books in days rather than months and years. But he's been wanting to write a book for years. He's been trying to, but not really getting to the finish line, not really getting where he was trying, like, ultimately wanting to go. And as he's been struggling to finish his book for a while, after the first, he decides to join our best-selling book boot camp. And after the first 3 days of investing in this book, I asked, like, okay, well, how can I help you? How can I help? And he shares, like, it's like, everything's pretty clear. And he said, what I liked most about the boot camp,
what I like
so
most
far,
about the book, what I like most about the boot camp
he
so
said, what I
far
like most about the
is
boot
the
camp so far is the
simplicity and
simplicity and the
the
easiness
easiness
to
to
understand
understand
and
and to
follow what you're
follow
doing.
what you're
How
doing, and
how you're teaching us how to create the pages of our book. How simple it is. As I'm following along and I'm seeing my book come together right before my eyes with simplicity and not frustration. The simplicity, yet the power of it, though. And that's what, like, he was sharing, that he was seeing his book for
power
however
of it
long he's
though.
been trying to write a book and never really getting to the finish line. After going through our system for publishing a best-selling book, now he finally got his book finished, and he's been working on turning his book into an online course that he can serve people, where he's still working with people one-on-one, but now he's working on a course to help him to go forward. How many of you would like to see your book come together before your eyes? Type yes in the comments below if that's you. See, what we've done is, if you're ready to publish a best-selling book, then text a number on the screen, best-selling, or comment best-selling below, and I'd be glad to send you more details. Because I want to invite you to our Best-Selling Author Secrets Masterclass. This is how you can leverage a short health book to make big money with a small audience online. In this 90-minute masterclass, you're going to learn everything you need to know about growing your business with a best-selling book. And it's not just about publishing a book, it's about building a business on the back end. It's about learning how to automate your lead generation, automate the lead conversion into paying clients, automate the frameworks and how to package your knowledge into the best-selling book. If you want to learn how to disconnect your income generation from your time, then sign up for this free Best-Selling Author Secrets Masterclass, because we really go through it in detail. This is the same masterclass that A.D. Keller went through, that Kendra Lee went through, to be able to help them to jumpstart their business and to learn how to simplify what feels complex in winning at this business, and how to really get consistent results. So again, just go to, if you're ready to publish a best-selling book, text the number on the screen, 424-243-6624, the word best-selling, or comment down below, and be happy to send you more details so that you can find out about this. And what we've been talking about is the automation effect. These are 3 keys to consistent clients and cash flow from your health advice. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, friends, God doesn't call a qualified, He qualifies a called. Have a great day, and God bless.